Working hard doesn't bring you closer to the elite. It keeps you exactly where the system expects you to be. Raw effort is common, leverage is rare, and it's this invisible difference that separates those who run their entire lives from those who build something that keeps moving on its own. The more you trade time for effort, the more predictable you become. A packed schedule, drained energy, the constant feeling of being busy, but with no real progress. The game looks fair, but it is quietly stacked against anyone who only knows how to give it their all. What almost no one realizes is that the elite doesn't win by working more hours or sacrificing more. They win because they think differently before acting. While some accumulate exhaustion, others accumulate structural power, systems, decisions, and outputs that remain even when they're not present. In today's video, you'll understand exactly which mental and strategic patterns change the game, why invisible effort doesn't build advantage, how the elite protects cognitive energy, and the type of thinking that turns work into real impact. Stay until the end, because the last point is the definitive divider between operating and leading. Working hard is common, leveraging is rare. Most people believe that the path to growth is to work harder than everyone else. More hours, more effort, more sacrifice. It sounds noble, but it hides a silent trap. Working hard is common, predictable, almost automatic within the system. What's rare isn't effort itself, but the ability to turn effort into something that scales. And that's exactly where the elite separates from the rest. While most people trade time for effort, the elite trades effort for leverage. They build systems, use capital, organize people, write code, create media, or structure processes that work without constant presence. There's a mental flip that changes everything. The less scalable what you do is, the less elite it becomes. If everything depends on your daily energy, you haven't built power, only routine. This isn't opinion, it's a historical pattern. Economists have analyzed decades, even centuries of data to understand how income truly grows at the top. What appears repeatedly is that the most significant growth comes from ownership, not hours worked. People who control assets, systems, or equity increase income even when they're not actively producing. Initial effort matters, but what generates wealth is what keeps working afterward. Now bring this down to the reality of your week. One simple but uncomfortable practice is to do a leverage audit. A direct question, no filters. What did I do this week that continues to generate results without me? A documented process, a piece of content, an automation, someone trained. If everything stops when you stop, you're not building advantage. You're just staying busy. This pattern appears clearly in corporate environments. Two professionals, same role, same salary, same workload. One spends part of the time documenting processes, creating standards, organizing chaos, and making work replicable. Gradually, they become a reference, then leadership. The other lives putting out fires, solving urgencies, and being praised for effort, but never for structural impact. The market doesn't reward who gets more tired. It rewards who builds something that doesn't depend on constant personal presence. Working hard keeps you relevant in the short term, but leveraging effort changes the entire game. The elite isn't who runs fastest every day. It's who builds a treadmill that keeps moving even after they leave the room. 2. The elite protects cognitive energy, not the calendar. Most people believe productivity means filling their schedule to the limit. Meetings, small decisions, quick responses, everything treated as equally urgent. It looks like ambition, but in practice, it's dispersion disguised as effort. The elite understands something different. The scarcest resource isn't time, it's cognitive energy. When the mind is exhausted, even good opportunities are decided poorly. Science explains this directly. Studies led by Roy Baumeister in the United States analyzed how repeated decisions throughout the day affect performance. What they observed was what's called decision fatigue. The more trivial choices a person makes, the worse the quality of important decisions becomes. Judges, executives, and leaders under fatigue tend to choose the easiest path, not the most strategic one. That's why working longer hours isn't a sign of high ambition, but often of low strategic priority. Anyone who spends the day personally handling everything is, without realizing it, saying they don't trust systems, criteria, or people. The elite doesn't take pride in being busy. They take pride in being lucid when decisions truly matter. Constant busyness is noise, not power. One simple tool completely changes this game: the rule of 3 decisions. Only personally decide what is irreversible, expensive, or reputational. Everything else should be automated, delegated, or standardized. This reduces mental wear and preserves focus for what truly drives results. Leadership isn't deciding everything. It's deciding what deserves your direct attention. This pattern appears clearly among high-performance American CEOs. Many standardize clothing, schedules, routines, and even meals. It's not aesthetics or eccentricity, it's cognitive economy. Every eliminated decision frees energy for strategy, vision, and reading the bigger game. They don't want to win the day, they want to win the decade. When you protect your mind, your decisions gain weight. When you spend energy on the trivial, the strategic weakens. The elite doesn't organize time to do more things. It organizes the environment to think better. And in the end, those who think better decide better, grow faster, and sustain results for longer. 3. Visible output beats invisible effort. There's a quiet belief that holds a lot of capable people back. The idea that effort speaks for itself. That working hard, staying late, and dedicating yourself deeply will automatically be recognized. The elite knows this rarely happens. Invisible effort doesn't build reputation, doesn't create memory, and doesn't generate advantage. What matters is what can be seen, understood, and remembered. While most people measure value by how much effort they put in, the elite measures it by the impact delivered. Concrete results, clear decisions, material produced, problems solved in a visible way. This isn't cynicism. It's an accurate reading of the organizational game. No one promotes intention. People promote what they can point to, explain, and defend in a meeting. Data confirms this pattern. An analysis published by Harvard Business Review, based on corporate performance evaluations, showed that promotions and recognition correlate far more with the visibility of results than with overtime hours or perceived effort. The system doesn't reward those who suffer more. It rewards those who deliver something that changes the board. That's why the elite's weekly practice is simple and powerful. Always produce an artifact. A strategic memo, a clear dashboard, a reusable framework, or a decision documented with logic. Artifacts create a trail. They remain when you're not in the room. They speak for you when your name comes up in conversations where you're not present. That's why certain professionals are remembered even when they speak little. They send a memo that shifts the team's direction, leave behind a document that becomes a reference, or structure a decision that prevents future mistakes. Others work hard, get exhausted, but leave nothing concrete behind. Effort disappears, impact remains. In the long run, a career is accumulated memory. Those who deliver visible output build a narrative of competence. Those who deliver only effort build fatigue. The elite understands this early and plays to be remembered, not to look busy. Because in the end, well-built visibility beats silent effort every single time. 4. Second-order thinking separates the elite from the operational. Most people make decisions looking only at immediate impact. They solve the problem in front of them, put out the day's fire, and feel relief for a few minutes. The elite thinks differently. Before acting, it silently asks, and then? This small mental shift changes everything, because decisions rarely end where they seem to end. Second-order thinking is the ability to see the consequences of consequences. It's not slowness, it's depth. While the operational reacts to the now, the elite anticipates side effects, incentives created, and future costs. A decision may look good today and be extremely expensive tomorrow. Those who can't see this confuse speed with intelligence. Cognitive psychology has already shown this correlation. Studies led by Angela Duckworth in the United States analyzed self-control and long-term planning across different professional contexts. The results indicated that individuals capable of delaying immediate rewards and thinking in longer horizons tend to reach higher levels of sustainable success. It's not raw talent, it's mental architecture. To make this practical, the elite uses simple checklists before deciding. The impact of this choice in 30 days, in 6 months, in 3 years. What does this solve now that creates which problem later? What looks easy today eliminates which option in the future. These kinds of questions slow impulse, but accelerate real growth. There's a recurring pattern in bad decisions. Too much speed. Decisions made under emotional urgency usually charge high interest later. The operational confuses fast action with efficiency. The elite understands that some choices require strategic pause, not immediate response. Not everything that's urgent is important. In the end, second-order thinking is what separates those who execute from those who lead. Executing well solves tasks. Thinking well builds direction. The elite doesn't seem smarter because it knows more things. It seems smarter because it thinks one step ahead while everyone else is still stuck in the now. 5. The elite plays long games with trustworthy people. Most people treat relationships as casual networking. They exchange business cards, add connections on LinkedIn, show up at events, and call that strategy. The elite sees this behavior as noise. Shallow relationships don't generate trust, and without trust, there is no long game. The elite doesn't collect contacts. It builds compounded reputation over time. While many try to be seen by everyone, the elite prefers to be trusted by a few. Recurring trust creates opportunities that broad networking never will. Truly well-positioned people don't move based on cold introductions, but on consistent history. Those who deliver repeatedly without fanfare become natural references. Invitations appear without explicit asking. Sociology has observed this pattern for decades. Studies on social ties show that relationships based on continuous trust generate more real access than numerous superficial connections. It's not the number of people that matters, it's the depth of the bond. Trust works like compound interest. It grows slowly, but becomes powerful over time. That's why the elite adopts simple, intentional practices. One of them is the rule of 5 pairs. Stay in touch quarterly with 5 strategic people, not to ask for something, but to follow up, help, share context, and stay aligned. This kind of consistency creates familiarity, predictability, and relational safety. There's a clear contrast between those who force self-promotion and those who build reputation. The former needs to remind the world of their value. The latter is automatically remembered when something important comes up. Relevant invitations almost never go to those who speak the loudest. They go to those who deliver consistently and without drama. In the end, the elite plays long games because it understands that trustworthy people are rare assets. Big projects, real opportunities, and strategic positions are not built in a hurry or with strangers. Those who think in decades choose carefully who they walk with, and that alone already eliminates most of the competition. 6. The elite delegates early, even without comfort. Most people wait until they feel ready to delegate. They want to master everything, control every detail, and only then pass things on. It seems responsible, but it's a classic growth trap. The elite understands early that waiting for comfort before delegating is exactly what blocks expansion. Those who try to be indispensable end up becoming the bottleneck of their own progress. Delegating early is not a sign of technical weakness. It's strategic awareness. While many centralize to avoid mistakes, the elite accepts small imperfections in the short term to gain scale in the long term. It prefers fixing systems over repeating tasks. Excessive control looks like efficiency, but in practice, it's fear disguised as diligence. Research data reinforces this pattern. Studies conducted by Noam Wasserman at Harvard analyzed founders and early startup teams over time. The results showed that those who delegate key functions earlier tend to scale faster than centralizers, not because they are less competent, but because they free up energy for higher impact decisions. The core tool here is simple, but requires maturity. Delegate by outcome, not by task. Instead of saying exactly how to do something, the elite clearly defines what good looks like. What is the expected result? What is the success criterion? What is the deadline? And which limits cannot be crossed? This creates autonomy without losing direction. This pattern appears clearly among high-performance executives. Schedules with more than 40% of the work delegated are not the exception. They are the rule. These people don't know everything that's being done, but they know exactly what needs to be delivered. They don't manage effort, they manage impact. In the end, delegating early is a test of identity. Those who define themselves by what they execute resist letting go. Those who define themselves by what they build learn to trust. The elite understands that growth requires giving up operational control to gain strategic control, and that initial discomfort is the price of any big game. 7. The elite thinks in opportunity cost, not effort. Most people evaluate decisions based on the effort required. If something takes work, it seems valuable. If it's exhausting, it feels virtuous. The elite does the math differently. It knows that working hard on the wrong thing isn't merit, it's loss. Effort is not a quality metric. Direction is. Opportunity cost is the invisible price that almost no one calculates. Every time you choose to do something, you simultaneously choose not to do something else. Economists have used this concept for decades to explain rational decisions, but in everyday life, it's ignored. Time spent in the wrong place charges silent interest. That's why the elite doesn't just ask, "Is this worth it?" It asks, "Compared to what?" The decision isn't between doing or not doing, but between this option and the best available alternative. Many choices look good in isolation, but become bad when compared to what they prevent. One simple practice completely changes this mental filter. Before taking on any meaningful commitment, the elite asks a standard question. What is the best alternative if I do not do this? If the answer is something with greater impact, faster growth, or deeper learning, the decision becomes obvious. Saying no turns into strategy, not guilt. This contrast appears clearly in two common profiles. The busy professional accepts everything, stays full, always tired, and proud of a packed calendar. The selective professional declines more than they accept, protects blocks of time, and chooses carefully where to place energy. One looks productive, the other grows more. In the end, the elite doesn't measure value by the sweat invested, but by the return on the choice. Effort is only noble when it's aligned with the best available opportunity. Those who understand opportunity cost stop romanticizing hard work and start playing the real game, doing fewer things better and at the right time. 8. The elite builds position, not just performance. Most people focus on performing better within the same space, delivering more, being more efficient, competing at the same level as everyone else. The elite plays a different game. It understands that performance can be copied, but strategic position cannot. When you occupy a unique spot on the board, you don't need to run faster all the time. Performance is fragile because it depends on direct comparison. There will always be someone younger, cheaper, or more willing to work harder. Position, on the other hand, creates asymmetry. It makes comparison unfair. The elite doesn't win because it's better at everything, but because it chose a place where few can compete. Strategy explains this clearly. Classic studies on competitive advantage show that the most durable results come from asymmetries that are hard to replicate. Specific knowledge, exclusive access, established reputation, correct timing, or a rare combination of skills. When the position is strong, the required performance decreases. To make this practical, the elite maps its own position with brutal honesty. What do I do that few people can do well? What do few people want to do because it's difficult or uncomfortable? What do few people see because they're not paying attention to the bigger game? Where these answers intersect, a defensible position is born. This is where many people get lost. They try to compete by running faster on the same track. The elite changes the track. It chooses terrain where its natural, learned, or built strengths make more sense. It's not about working more, it's about working where it makes more difference. In the end, the elite doesn't win because it executes better every day. It wins because it built a place where its execution matters more than everyone else's. Those who understand this stop chasing infinite performance and start building real advantage. And when the position is strong, the entire game changes.